There are chapters of history that remain largely in the shadows, known to a few but deeply impactful for those who lived them. One such chapter unfolded in the remote highlands of Laos, alongside the more visible war in Vietnam. For a decade, this neutral kingdom became the stage for a secret conflict, orchestrated in quiet corridors of power and fought by individuals whose stories deserve to be heard. This is a look into Legacy of a War, Air America and Southeast Asia, a documentary that uncovers the operations of a civilian airline at the heart of a clandestine war. In the early 1960s, as the Cold War divided the world, Laos found itself a pivotal, if unlikely, focus of international concern. President Kennedy's administration viewed the nation as a key bulwark against the spread of communism in Southeast Asia, a direct reflection of the domino theory.
The security of all Southeast Asia will be endangered if Laos loses its neutral independence.
The 1962 Geneva Accords officially declared Laos neutral. Yet, beneath this veneer of neutrality, a different kind of war began, a covert war, becoming a proving ground for CIA counterinsurgency methods. This wasn't a conflict of declared battles, but of clandestine operations and individual squads. The central question remained: how does one sustain such an operation far from public view? The answer, in large part, was Air America. Publicly, it was a commercial air transport company. Operationally, it was an essential component of U.S. policy in the region. Its lineage connected to Claire Chennault's Flying Tigers of an earlier war. The aircraft were not passenger liners, but rugged STOL planes, short takeoff and landing aircraft like the Pilatus Porter and Helio Courier, ideally suited for the challenging Laotian terrain. The pilots were a distinct group, described as driven by a combination of American and Asian patriotism with a desire for adventure. But what truly defined their daily existence in this secret war? Their missions involved transporting vital supplies, from food for displaced populations to weaponry for Allied forces. They carried CIA case officers, referred to as customers, to and from remote, often hazardous airstrips, known as Lima sites. The risks were constant. Willie Utterback famously flew his aircraft back with 39 bullet holes. Sarit Porn Bibakun, a Thai national who joined Air America, recounts a Christmas Day mission in 1968, which ended with his helicopter absorbing 104 rounds before crashing. He survived. Les Strauss witnessed a friendly helicopter shot down moments before his own plane sustained 19 hits. These were not isolated incidents, but part of the operational reality. As pilot instructor Chick Reynolds noted, new recruits often arrived expecting to fly a P-51, only to face a far different and arguably more complex kind of aerial warfare. This covert war relied heavily on local Hmong forces, led by General Vang Pao, who formed a crucial alliance with U.S. interests, supported by CIA field officers like Tony Poe. Thousands of Thai military personnel also participated, their involvement largely unpublicized. Given Laos's formidable mountains and dense jungles, Air America's role was indispensable. The center of this effort was Long Chen, a valley transformed into a sprawling secret airbase and support city, unacknowledged on any public map. Further north, the historic Plain of Jars became a heavily contested zone, marked by intense bombing and a fluid, unconventional pattern of conflict, distinct from the warfare seen in Vietnam. The consequences of this long, hidden war were profound. The Hmong people, who fought alongside the U.S., suffered immense losses and displacement. Laos itself bears a tragic distinction, one of the most heavily bombed countries in history. Decades later, the continuing presence of unexploded American bombs remains a lethal threat to its people, a stark legacy of those years. With the end of direct American involvement in Southeast Asia, this chapter too drew to a close. Long Chen, the secret hub, was eventually overrun. A recurring sentiment from those who participated is that there were no real winners. This raises fundamental questions about such conflicts and their untold stories. Why were these operations kept so deeply under wraps? And what is the full story of the individuals who served and sacrificed in this undeclared war? This summary offers only an introduction to a complex and compelling piece of history. The experiences of the pilots, the geopolitical intricacies, the long-term effects on the Laotian people, and the full scope of Air America's operations are explored in depth in the complete documentary, Legacy of a War, Air America and Southeast Asia. For those who wish to understand this significant yet often overlooked aspect of the Cold War history and its human dimensions, the full film provides crucial insights. You can find the link in the description below.